what to do when your spouse is looking up their exes.
This is a great tool, but like all the tools, we have our own twist.
Validation versus keeping the peace.
Why you need to stop talking about sex if you're not having sex.
That it is the man's fault. Marriage sucks.
I'm Cass.
I'm Kathryn. You go in and you lay a boundary without connection, it breeds more disconnection.
Why are you in this messy marriage? And it's not what you think.
Don't do that, because then that is not authentic. That's fake, and you're trying to be somebody that you're not.
You need the foundation to have the intimacy, but right now you need to rebuild the foundation.
We're MorrowMarriage.
Let's flip divorce statistics with the new marriage.
Welcome to the MorrowMarriage podcast, guys. And today I want to talk about someone's fan mail. It was simple. It was what to do when your spouse is looking up their exes.
Looking them up.
Yeah. So going into social media, looking at them, I believe it even went into following them, talking to them. This hit close to home for me because I was a real asshole back in the day, and I would bring up exes. And
both of our exes.
Yeah, true. Probably all of the exes I knew you had, plus mine, one in particular. And yeah. What I'm trying to say, guys, is exes are fucking virus, parasites. Stay away from it. You know, the first thing that came to mind is we were talking with one of our clients. Oh, you and I weren't. I was talking to one of my clients about how, she's talking about being great co-parents. She's talking about how we can all get along. We can all hang out together on holidays, this and that. And you and I have had this belief for a long time, and I'll tie this together. But that's ridiculous to think that you're going to spend your time hanging out on Christmas or Thanksgiving or Easter with
you and your ex and her new husband and your new wife.
Like, what in the actual? Okay.
Can I add to that? So, very recently, one of your clients, one of the men in the program, he has a wife who is maintaining wanting to leave the relationship, basically has left the relationship, but is maintaining it as co-parents, like they can do everything together. And I said, that all sounds nice when you don't have a new woman, because the new woman that meets you with the man that you are today, she is going to get her claws out and protect you, and you're not going to be hanging out with your ex anymore.
Yeah, you're essentially setting up the absolute epitome of insecurity. You're creating and perpetuating a whole level of trust factor that you have to try to insurmountably overcome because you're trying to stay in contact with your ex. Now, this situation is different. This person clearly has a husband who is not getting what his needs met he's not getting his needs met. He's not getting, the things that he wants out of his life and his marriage. And so what is he doing? He's looking at exes.
The ones that got away.
The ones that got away. Now, I thought this was a valuable topic to cover because I think that no matter what, this falls in the same category of I'm not getting what I want, so I'm going to do something else. You could talk about porn. You could talk about exes because you remember what it was like. You could talk about meeting somebody new. I don't think any of it matters. I think it's all the same.
You're just trying to escape something and fill a void with something else. 100%.
And you're not filling the void that you want, which is your wife. Okay. So you're talking about your exes, talking to your exes, throwing your exes in your partner's face like I did to Kathryn. And did that work? Did that turn you on? Did that turn your crank, get you excited to be with me?
Oh, yes. Our relationship was so good back then, honey.
Like, you guys got to understand, this is no different than anything else that you do. You have to think about what is it that I want and create that life. You can't go create a fake life because you don't want this ex. Okay. If you did, you wouldn't have left him. What's that saying? You saw somewhere you loved it, which I hate necessarily announcing it because.
Oh, if you fall in love with two people, pick the second one because you never would have fallen in love with the second one to begin with if you actually loved the first one.
Yeah. And I don't love that, but I love that. The reason I don't love that is because obviously we're here to honor our commitment and our oath and all that jazz. But
there's a lot of validity to that.
There really is. Now, I think that this situation is different. In this case, if you ever do listen to this episode, dude, you're just looking at the one that got away, like Kathryn said, because you don't want to own up to the responsibility of taking accountability for who you are today and getting what you need by showing up the way you need to show up. That's it. It's fucking simple. Give what you get. And you want this is cheating. You want to cheat and yet you're doing that because you don't have validation. Think about how that math doesn't line up. I don't get the love, appreciation, validation, sex that I need, so I'm going to go look somewhere else. You get what you give, you fucking idiot. Okay, now her.
I have this saying though.
Oh, sure.
I just started it. The grass doesn't stay greener on the other side because it might look greener. So because that whole trying to fill a void, trying to get something that you feel like you're missing and you go and get it somewhere else. Well, it might feel good at first, but all of that other person's flaws are going to come back out. The same reason that you broke up 10 years ago, 15 years ago, two months ago, it doesn't matter. The flaws are going to come back up. Odds of that person doing the work that was needed.
That's right.
It's slim. Very few people actually do the work. So the grass doesn't stay greener on the other side.
No, that's beautiful, and it's the water where it's greener where you water it, and all that expression, right? Like you guys, I'm gonna do a piece of content. I'm filming it up right now, and it's literally more along the lines of like, people will judge you no matter what you do. If you're fat, you're lazy. If you're fit, you're using steroids. If you're rich, you have a silver spoon or you're a snake oil salesman. I get that one a lot. If you're broke, you're lazy, or you're an idiot. Guys, people will judge you no matter what.
No matter what.
And yet you sit there and try to figure out what you should do. Like a lot of this comes from people, oh yeah, you should leave her. She doesn't meet your needs. You know, she doesn't do the right thing, you know, blah, blah, blah. No matter what, you're going to get judged. Just show up, judge your fucking self and say, what am I going to do to get what I want? Okay, now I want to help this lady. She doesn't know what to do because this guy is just.
Oh, so it's not the man that you spoke to. No, the woman said, my husband is looking up exes.
Yeah, and so the very first thing I would say is this. You can't go tell him, stop. I think in an ideal world you could, but you have to be connected to be able to do something like that. Like essentially you'd be trying to lay a boundary. You need to go watch your episodes on that, but like there's nothing there. So I'm going to go back to what I was sort of saying for him. You need to lead with what you want. Okay. So if he's looking for love and validation from somewhere else, it doesn't matter that it's exes. Okay. This could happen with somebody at Starbucks. This could happen with somebody online, a Facebook group. People do it on my comments, and I'm fucking saving marriages. It's disgusting.
He's married.
But yeah. But what are they looking for? It's the same reason people cheat. They're looking for safety, connection, emotional connection typically is where they're feeling that. We give that to women. Sure, I do content on that, but men are also looking for that love and validation. So start giving gratitude, start giving appreciation, love, validate him for the good things. You're very good at this, where you pull people out of looking at the negative and get them to focus on everything positive that's in every situation. I can't think of a ton of positives for what you're going through right now, but I can think of one, and that is you actually know exactly what he's looking for. He's looking for love, validation, appreciation, respect. And
he's not getting it from you. So there's some lack there, which means you could stand to grow. Now, I always say it's never your fault if your husband cheats, but it is your fault, the disconnection that happens somewhere along the way.
That's right.
So you can take responsibility not for his actions, but you can take responsibilities for the feelings. But you can take some responsibility for his feelings because your actions or inactions have contributed to the way he feels. And now, unfortunately, his behavior is what's inappropriate. The feelings are valid. If he feels lonely, if he feels empty, if he feels dismissed, those feelings are valid. Going and looking at another woman is not valid. Does it make sense, Sonny?
It does. And the thing is, I say this all the time because I actually put the responsibility on a man. But really, men or women, if you're being cheated on, cascaded betrayal, Google it, Gottman's, we didn't create it. I added 10 things to the list. Like, listen, those are your mistakes if it got that far. We can question morals first, but listen, you're listening to the podcast, you want to save your marriage, and I know it's really, really hard. I know it's hard. I think infidelity has got to be one of the most difficult things that I see in my program. You know, you too, maybe?
I don't see a lot of infidelity, but it is difficult. The women that by the time they get to me, if there has been infidelity, they're just so desperate to save their marriage. They're mostly worried about emotional abuse.
Right.
Narcissism, things like that.
It's difficult. What I'm trying to say is no matter the challenge, you're still here trying to move forward. Take a page from Kathryn's book where it's like, okay, listen, this is where I'm going. It doesn't matter about the rest, and just do it. Okay. Sometimes I think you really have to look at it like I don't care what's fair. I care what works. And you are here. You're not calling a lawyer. You're sending a message in fan mail, trying to get this figured out. So just suck it up. Own who you are. Be the powerful woman that you can be, and give your husband everything that you want. And then watch how it unfolds. See how it happens. Give us an update on the fan mail, because you'll start to see that he's going to want to give more back. Now, don't rush it, because if he's that checked out, you might need a little more patience. Is that fair?
Mhm.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.